this job gives us the opportunity to meet Australians from every walk of life. It's a joy to meet all these amazing people, and you also learn so much.
If any Australian had a day to walk in our shoes, they would have an optimism about our country that they may not have been aware of before, because we have difficult days and we have difficult times, and there are big issues in our country, but underneath it, the core of us is a really good people, and when you see that every day, that's not just me being trite. That's empirical evidence. I've seen it, we've seen it every day. I use that expression, adversity not only builds character, it reveals it, because it's true that if you go through an adverse situation, in most cases people grow from that. They learn from it, respond to it and develop from it, and you do that nationally. But when you're in adverse conditions, you also show what you've got already. And I think that's what we've seen in over the last 12 months of my time as Governor-General with Linda, as we've travelled around and met many Australians, from drought-afflicted areas up to Julia Creek and central and northwestern Queensland after the floods in the recovery period, through the bushfires and into now the response to the pandemic. We've seen a very gritty determination amongst Australians, and combined with that sort of hard edge that we will get through this, great acts of compassion and kindness to each other. And sometimes those softer sides of us are hidden in busy lives, and we're all occupied with other things, even on a national level. But to see that in a very raw sense in the community has been one of the features of the last 12 months.
It was really overwhelming. The people who helped in a physical sense, but also the people who donated money, the people who donated things, the people who volunteered to prepare meals, and then after the fires had finished, the overwhelming response from people who wanted to do things like Blaze Aid.
As we've travelled around and across those 4 big influences on the last 12 months on our national life, we've met many people who sort of stand out, not so much because of stature or they're doing a great national thing, but for what they're doing for the community and the way they're leading in their community. So going to small villages like Nimboida and Newingar in New South Wales, or down to Kangaroo Island in South Australia, and just seeing how those communities are being led and are coalescing around both the leadership and each other, that's just been brilliant to see. And that's repeated up and down all the areas that have been affected either by drought or bushfire and so on. So you just take a real confidence in who we are and what people will do, and you can be really sure that people will step up during these occasions. For both of us, you can come back after a really busy day and you might be tired, but you're uplifted because of some of the, all the people you've met, but some of the just special conversations you've had with people that, as I say, just come out of nowhere.
There was a young man who was playing a game that I'd never seen or heard of before, and I asked him. Yeah, it was a card game. Card game. And I asked him how to play it, and he showed me. And that was really nice to spend some time with him playing a game. And I won't forget him either.
But afterwards someone said he felt it was so special that you spent so much time just concentrating with him.
I don't even know that he knew that I was a Governor-General's wife. And that in many ways is really good sometimes. There's just so many good stories, and there's so many good stories even when people are not in a really bad space as well. So
Well, I think one of the important functions I perform and this role performs is thanking and acknowledging Australians for the great work they do. And that is important because on the whole I think we're a bit reticent about that in our national character, and there is the formal recognition through the Order of Australia, which is our preeminent way of acknowledging people's achievements, but simply by going to attend an event where they're all gathered and to be able to look them directly in the face, and I'm really saying on behalf of your fellow Australians, thank you very much for what you do.
There are so many people, and so many of them are volunteers, who are out there with such a variety of causes. It might be helping children that have severe disabilities. There's just so many choices, and every single volunteer I meet, they're not a volunteer and they're not working for an organisation because they want a medal. They're working for an organisation that they really believe in and they love, and they want to make a difference. And I think that encompasses the kindness and caring. And I think we have many, many, many Australians who are doing that on a daily basis.
Many of the themes that we've worked on to date in terms of assisting with the Indigenous reconciliation, that process, what role can we play to bring that along in a positive way, to assist with those who are socially disconnected in our community, look at our mental health issues in Australia, particularly for veterans from my case. So those are big themes that we can continue to work positively on. Of course, now we have to we're very mindful of the recovery periods we're going to be in for still the bushfire affected communities, and now nationally from the response to the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. So there's work in all those areas for us, and some of those are challenges, but there are still enormous possibilities now in there. Australians are renowned for their initiative, and I keep coming back all the time to Professor Michelle Simmons' comment that why she came from the UK to be a quantum physicist in Australia and lead our quantum computing effort out of University of New South Wales is because Australians will take on the hard problems and the big problems. And I think we're just in another phase now of our national life where we've had a collective drawing a breath over the last 3 months. It's now an opportunity there to say, okay, what's the future look like and how different might it be from what it was 3 months ago?